Dice Age is made possible thanks to the support of our patrons. We'd especially like to thank our living legend, Silgwyn. Thank you very much, and enjoy the show.
The Empire of Maca has existed for nearly 1,000 years. Founded and ruled by Aoibhen the Main, the immortal empress, it quickly expanded its borders thanks to the overwhelming power of its mages and the shrewd politics of its nobles. Now it has fully conquered the centre of the continent of Elmera, and although war has ended, peace still eludes its populace. As the Empire nears its first millennia, the signs of turmoil have become more frequent and apparent. Monsters are becoming more bold, nobles plot schemes of usurpation, and whispers of rebellion hang heavy in the slums. This gave rise to the adventurer. These strong individuals of all races and classes lend their might to the citizens of Maca to drive back monstrous incursions. There are even adventurers who perform deeds so noble that the people can see beyond their race to the hero that lies within. There are those who criticise these adventurers and claim they're nothing more than pawns used to advance the political machinations of nobles. Despite the immortal Empress herself making fewer and fewer appearances, there are those whose faith in the Empire remains unshaken. But the wise know that it only takes a few sparks to ignite the flames of change. Allow me to introduce you to these sparks. Welcome to Elmera.
Hello and welcome to Dice Age, an actual play D&D show. My name is Jack and I'm the Dungeon Master. With me as always are our wonderful heroes. Would you all please go around and introduce yourselves?
Hi, I'm AJ and I'm Ed. Oh wait, no I'm not. I am Zeroth, aka Kilzarentalegaroth, your ASMR cleric.
Hey, I'm Alice Rose and I play T, the Elven Sorceress.
Hey, I'm Dakota and I play Esarayas, the Human Rogue.
Hey, I'm Zach. I'm playing Tauros, your Tiefling Paladin.
Hey, I'm Trey, and I'm upset.
But who are you
Why is
playing?
I'm playing Trey, who is upset.
What are Trey's stats?
Trey has like -2 to wisdom because he's still in this group. Like a +3 to charisma, not like +3 modifier, just like a 13. And that's it. Everything else is like 10 or lower.
Understood. Okay. AJ, do you have a recap for us?
I was trying, but there really isn't much to recap. It was a ridiculously short episode. I showed up, introduced my character, and then we kind of ended it there. I don't know what else you want me to say.
Shit happened before you showed up, though.
AJ,
You
you
guys-
realized we were on call for like hours before you got there.
Did you not
You guys
watch
played-
the episode before
you
you
guys
showed
played-
up?
You guys play D&D without me?
Oh shit, he's having.
Oh.
Yes, but that's
You were dead.
Tell him that. Fuck.
Yeah, I did try to listen, but then when I saw I wasn't there, I just really couldn't pay attention. I'm guessing it wasn't all that important though. Nothing like big.
We
happened,
mourned
right?
you. We
Oh,
had your
that's nice.
funeral.
Ellis cried.
Trey cried. First of
No,
all.
you can't prove shit.
You
Cameras
told
weren't
his mom
rolling.
he wasn't coming back.
yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
damn. I'm sure she's good, right? I'm sure Sierra. My
No,
mom's-
no.
Oh.
Yeah, no.
What about my dad? Is he good? Did he have fun?
No.
Yeah.
Also,
Uh,
no.
Wait, I thought he
Your
was.
mom kind of bitch slapped him at the funeral.
Damn.
Because he was trying to claim you as his son after rejecting you when you were alive.
Oh,
Yeah.
jeez. I should probably listen.
Oberon also, stood with him out of solidarity because he was like, "That's fucked up."
Gotcha. But Essa is good, right? Right?
Essa.
I think that sums it up.
Yeah, no, he kind of had a bit of a panic attack.
Didn't say anything.
Okay.
Yeah, that sums it up.
T
Okay.
and Oberon tried to talk him down, but it didn't really go well.
Gotcha.
No.
Gotcha. Uh,
Yeah.
but you let Planning handle the funeral, right? Planning, the expert, the pro, like the best planner
Aha!
around.
No, Toros took that over, baby.
God damn it!
Listen, okay.
What a beautiful ceremony.
And then we set you on fire on accident.
Wanted to be taxidermied.
We taxidermied you, then cremated you.
But
All
yeah,
right.
but then sorry.
Yeah, I'm sure that's great, but you all are absolutely not going to bring back Maka now, right? Because she took Edgar away from you all.
No, we're kind of agreeing. We haven't run it by Tauros yet, but we're kind of doing that. Kind of.
Hey,
This big penguin's gonna come save the day. He's gonna set you guys straight, guaranteed.
That's
can
Yeah.
right.
we
Oh, that was
not?
fun. It was fun kicking around Marcus Toldrin.
Oh yeah, that was cool.
good.
Literally in Toros's case.
Yeah,
Mhm.
quite.
Kicking the absolute shit out of him and
I kind of wish he
scaring the
just
shit out of
kicked
him.
him through the wall.
That was
I
fun.
was I was
We have a
waiting-
Marcus-shaped hole in the wall.
I was waiting for Smash Mouth to play at some point during that confrontation.
Listen, it took a lot of power not to smite him when I did that as well. I didn't want to outright kill him, and even Tauros didn't.
You
But he
you were
wanted
literally going
her.
shove a holy boot in his ass. Is that what you
Yep.
were going to do?
Damn straight.
We've stopped talking about me, so I think we can end the recap. I'm bored already.
Well, I guess
Oh,
if
and
that's
then
the
we
case,
had a stupid fucking penguin pretending not to be a penguin showed up. Like a
Hell yeah.
fucking penguin.
Hell yeah.
We're
All right.
excited to work with your new character.
Listen, if AJ isn't on his third character by the time the epilogue's done, I will have failed my mission as a player.
And I think with that, it's time for us to return to the world of Elmera. Today is the 17th day of Boanan, in the 1000th year of the Empire of Maka. Today is when the rebellion forces, as well as the forces of the free city of Tolestadt, have arrived in camp at Ella Creek. And you all are about to begin a strategy meeting with the council and the generals of the forces to discuss the plan for the siege of Aoibhen. You all meet, and you are all privy to these negotiations, or rather not negotiations, but strategy, where what is agreed upon is that if a traditional siege was undergone, there would still be likely chances that your forces would succeed. However, in doing so would be very costly and very time consuming, as the city, according to your intelligence, has sufficiently stockpiled their supplies that it would take months of siege before they would even start to really feel a squeeze on their resources. As a result, a suggestion is put forward to send a small team, a small but elite team, into the city to attempt to break through the defenses, reach the imperial capital, and to either capture and force the surrender of the immortal empress, or to kill her and forcibly rout the imperial forces through the major morale detriment that would come as the result of the announcement of the immortal empress's death. Amongst all this, at one point, people say, well, This is coming from the Prince Yannick Belasio of Tolestadt, who says, well, it's all well and good that we could send people in, but what do we do with them once they're in there? How can we guarantee that they aren't just overwhelmed by the Imperial forces that will be set up as garrison within the city itself? And to that, Planin and Sierra Wood step forward. And Planin announces, I'm not sure how familiar all of you are with the history of the city of Aoibhen. In times long past, the city was a holy site for my people, the Asori. And there was a moment in our history where we were chased out of the city by the elven forces of the Empire. But in its hour of need, the great hero of our people, Lakar Coxix, was granted a gift by our goddess and transformed into a massive skeletal tree that fended off the Imperial forces and allowed the escape of countless lives. That tree yet remains within the capital of Aoibhen, though in a very dormant state. But through my research into the history of Lakar, as well as the works of one of the most brilliant alchemists that we've ever seen in this empire.
Does Gick stand for? Does Gick come up at that point?
Gick was invited, but Gick decides that it's time to let Sierra have her moment in the spotlight. Gick's already been he knows when to step back and let his assistant take her chance.
There we go. That's my boy.
And
What a short king.
Sierra produces several large sort of, they look like syringes with a sort of mysterious looking glowing green liquid within them. And she says, if the strike team can get into the city, can reach Lakar's body and inject these reagents into it, we may be able to revitalize them and have them once again fight the Empire.
Jesus Christ.
And if we can manage that, well, the Imperial forces are going to have something really big to have to worry about.
Question.
Mhm.
Were you saying something to go?
Just estimate like a little bit of a sound, but he's just kind of blown away about this idea. Just kind of shocked by it.
O'Brien will just say, and after Lakar has awoken, is there any side effects? Will they be of their right mind? Or will we have to worry about what happens after the Imperial forces have been kept busy?
Sierra kind of shrugs and says that we can't be sure of. In all honesty, it is our current theory is that Lakar will still be sound enough mind, or at least be within enough divine guidance in this form to recognize that their enemy is the Empire, and that once again, Lakar stopped moving originally after the last Asori left Aoibhen. And if Lakar was able to maintain their understanding or control so that they could keep people safe, I think that that's something that we should be able to replicate with this. Part of this will also require a a divine ritual that will be conducted along with the administering of these reagents. So whoever is a part of this strike team will also need to have a strong connection to either Baphomalia or Fomora.
Looks to the cleric and the paladin.
Killsy looks around when people stare. I'm like, what?
Uh,
That's me.
That's
Oh,
That's us.
okay. Goes for a high five with Toro.
Hildra, Planon's daughter, does kind of nod and looks to you, Tauros, and says, "You've done an excellent job of maintaining your duties as a paladin to Baphomalia. I'm certain that you would have the ability to conduct this ritual."
Yeah, it kind of gives her like a nod and like a small like salute to her. It would be an honor to do this for everyone.
And with that, that is so now the current plan has been decided upon, where this strike team will infiltrate. At this point, Kalik raises a hand and says, with my proclivities, I've managed to be able to set up a nice little transportation system into the city. It probably won't work for a whole lot of people, but we'll get a good amount in there. And she will gesture to T and say, and I do believe that we have a place in mind of where we can place people as we send in as many people as we can before initiating this operation.
Yes, I do have contacts in the city with scry-proof rooms for our convenience.
Very well. So now is the time where they have to. It's time to deliberate who is going to be going in. Planin does look to you all and asks if the heroes would once again take up the mantle and perform this service for the allied peoples of Elmera.
It would be our honor.
Yeah,
This just
of
nods.
course.
It's what we're here for.
All right. And Zeroth, are you?
Gilsey is nowhere to be seen.
Oh, whatever they say.
Okay.
I'm here to help them out.
Very
Oberon's
well.
wiping his hand of blood. Who?
Who? For hoops?
All right. So you all will be heading in. And along with you all, Hildra has volunteered to join the strike team. Sierra has also insisted that she will be entering in as she insists that she will need to be there for the proper administration of the reagents into Lakar. So there will be Hildra, Sierra, all of the cards who have. I forgot to mention this in the previous episode, but you all, upon arriving in Ella Creek, did find the cards as well as Micah Stowen. And the cards have volunteered to join the strike team as well, saying that we're not the absolute strongest, but we are effective, and we've already made an enemy of the Empire. It's time for us to do what we can to keep our lord safe. With this, you also see that Kin and Zuzu and Saul also volunteer to join the strike team as well in honor of Edgar's memory. There's also check that I putting in everyone.
It's going to be a crowded ass room that we all teleport into.
Yeah.
Hey, Chevra's rooms are spacious.
As I can only do 12 people for Hero Space, this is going to be tough.
Ben will also be volunteering to join the strike team. He arrived,
Yeah, baby!
so he will be joining the strike team as well.
Taurus' actual reaction when he sees Finn.
Yes.
No!
You've used the armor, right?
Once.
You also see that ooh, I'm gonna have to cut around this because I'm blanking on her name.
Tammy.
You haven't talked with her yet, so you don't know.
Yeah, it's still
Glory?
LaClari has volunteered to join as well.
Oh, man.
There's also
This is a big ass strike team.
Zamel, Grald, and Alara, the three members of the rebellion that assisted
rebellion.
you when Redmayne came, are volunteered.
So hold on. I before if there's any more, let me know it. I want to count the 5 of us.
I have the number.
Okay,
Don't
go
worry,
ahead.
I have the number. So we have right now 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 19.
Jesus, this is a
Yeah,
huge ass strike team ready for this.
Including us. That's including us.
Yeah,
To be
that's what I'm
fair,
Oh, yeah.
most of this strike team will not survive.
Oh, I forgot one. 20.
Yeah. And then
Others?
yes, there's also going to be
So it's rat.
there's also going to be oh my god, would you please work?
That a grung wizard who gave us the rings. That guy.
No, Doreen Savary, a lizard folk woman who's the right hand of the general that you all met, will be joining as well. As well as Jakob Erdman, a fighter in the a mercenary in the employ of Yannick Belasio.
Jacob Birdman.
Good.
And then the final person to volunteer is an elven man who steps forward by the name of Regulus Claudius the 30th.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sierra, let me ask about that.
Oh, there's some feelings in the room.
Who announces I didn't do enough to fight this empire when I should have. I'll always have to try to make up for that. This doesn't absolve me, but this is my first step in doing the right thing for once. So yeah, these are the members of the strike team entering to try to capture the city of Aoibhen.
As this is happening, Killsy is writing down this list, and at some point he's gonna go up to Fen and be like, "Hi, nice, Fen. It's a pleasure to meet you. Saw a little bit of you. Sarah, would really love to pick your brain on how to be a cleric for these guys at some point. You seem really super cool."
No problem. You look fine. Strange. Getting a weird vibe from you.
I'm a bird, but currently I'm not.
Huh?
That's Celestials, baby. Question.
Yes.
You wouldn't happen to also have a gem encrusted bowl worth at least 1,000 gold pieces, would you?
That's a good question.
Everyone gets
Well,
one.
guess what? As a forge cleric with creation and
Yeah,
fabricating,
baby.
Oh! Huh!
You can
Wow,
only
I
gain the
just-
benefits of it once per fucking 24 hours, you assholes.
But we can spread it to 24 people
That's
now because
perfect.
it's
Yeah.
a group of
If we
12
both
and then
have
another
it.
group of 12.
The whole strike force could be under the effects of heroes.
That's
That would
interesting,
be
because
swell.
the plan is to be... Oh, no, wait, but you guys are going to be marching for 3 days.
Actually, Fed
Oh
is
my God.
there. Actually, Fed died of a heart attack.
Finn died of dysentery.
What?
Up another power word kill. Oops.
Okay, yeah, fuck it. I guess I can't stop this. See. Here's the thing. Here's the fucking thing, AJ. I thought it was just going to be this is a fun little character moment. These two characters that didn't get to interact are going to interact. That's
No,
going to be
I knew where this
interesting.
was going
That's going to be fun.
instantly.
No, you did this to fuck me, like you always do.
Leave this in. You have to leave this in. You cannot get this out, Jay.
Guess what? Tough walnuts.
Mhm.
Hell yeah.
And with this being decided,
I think I was just going to say, feel free to, if it's a no-go, Jack, but I feel like with plus knowing that he told the monastery that this is like the march they would provide him with the monetary compensation for a chalice to do Heroes Feast.
yes, absolutely.
Like giving him pulled the gold together and then he can just turn the gold into a chalice.
Yeah.
But only one.
So remind me, AJ, how many total allies are including you all are going to be
12.
teleporting?
Oh, teleporting?
Yeah.
I
You
mean,
all are teleporting
in total
into
in the
Aven.
strike
We are at
In the strike force.
23.
23 in the strike force. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. And that's including you all, so that's 18
Yes.
sans you. Okay.
Undertale.
So, with that being decided,
Thank
the
you, Zach.
strategy meeting is called, and the march to Aven will begin tomorrow. As you all are disbanding, Oberon, there's a moment where, as you're like leaving the tent, Mal comes up to you, and she's saying like, "Oh, so how was the meeting? Is everything going to be? What's going to happen?"
Wait, sorry. Who's this? Sorry, my brain.
Malika is talking to I'm sorry, I meant to say Tauros. Wow.
Okay,
Oh.
I was so
Oh my
confused.
God! How does that? How do
That's a
I
weird
keep?
one, but
I
okay.
keep mixing up Tauros and Oberon for some reason. They're so
I
different.
thought they
Big
fixed.
boys.
I thought
big
off screen
boys.
these two fixed their relationship. I was like,
That's
huh,
crazy.
awesome.
Yeah, I was like,
Oh no. Oh no, Baron, don't be a homewrecker.
I thought she was with the camp the camp of civilians.
The
Did she stay
civilians?
with us?
No. She came with you all to Ellicrete.
Okay.
To
She's part of the council, if I remember correctly.
yes.
Okay, cool. He kind of nudged. We have our plan to get into the city and our plan to retake the city. Kind of down pat.
Yeah. As you're saying that, Hildra will walk up next to you and just say, "Yes, Tauros will be a important fixture in the destruction of the Empire. He's proven to be a very capable person in that regard." And Malika will look to her and say, "Oh, well, that's nice. How, Tauros, you been
Playing Paladin?
it's just I'm glad to see that you found a mentor, as it were. Is that the case here?"
I'm gonna roll a fucking check to see if he even understands what she's saying because he's so fucking
Eat
stupid.
shit, Elder Loomis.
Oh,
Wrong cheating situation, Trey.
Wrong. Hold up.
Wrong infidelity.
This-
I'm just gonna. What the fuck? Don't create.
Zach
edit.
wouldn't let a love triangle
Yeah.
happen in
This
Dakota's home
motherfucker.
game. So
Wait,
it's
this
happening here.
motherfucker. You piece of trash. I knew it. I knew it.
Listen,
what are you talking about? What are you talking about, Zach? Huh?
No, I'll
Listen,
save it for ditching.
CP's got his own love triangle pissing me off, death, and not dying.
I thought for a second that this was gonna be like a not Malika situation where she was like a spy that looked like her, because it's like,
Oh yeah.
why wouldn't a member of the council be in the war meeting?
No, it's because she's not part of the
Yeah.
war section.
Council,
So,
yeah.
Yeah.
She's the general council, not the war council.
Okay, so that's a 15 insight from Tauros. I'll say, Tauros, you can tell that there's some kind of tension between these two. You're not sure why there's tension between these two, but there is something weird going on.
Kind of tilts his head, just like, what the fuck? Yes, she's taught me everything I know about being a paladin to Baphamalia.
Yeah, she has.
Malika just kind of like smiles, like, well, that's great. I'm Tauros's one of Tauros's oldest friends. So it's nice to meet someone that he's kind of known for a little bit, I guess.
God. Brutal.
And Hildred just kind of stares at her and says, "Well, there's quite a bit more bonding that goes on when you're fighting in a war together."
Yeah, there is.
I think we're going to move from that scene. And Essa, as you are like leaving the tent, you'll catch the eye of a man you haven't seen in a long time. He's a half-elven man, fairly thin, though carries himself with the air of someone much bolder than what you would naturally think just from looking at him. And he approaches you. Yes, he approaches you. Standing next to him is Zameln, and he says, "It's been quite a while."
It has. Good to see you're still doing well.
I'm glad to see that you found a way to continue working in the same trains, circles, I guess, as your old friends.
I guess I just couldn't let the world be the way it was. Something had to change. I had to change along with it.
Yeah. He gives a genuine smile and says, "Yeah, no, suppose we all change when we're working after something as big as this." And he extends a hand to you.
As we'll take it.
All right. And
He'll shake hands with him.
You shake hands with Kieran Thorpe, the leader of the rebellion.
Oh, damn.
Just kind of nods at him and then nods to Zamel. Again, this whole time he still has like the kind of ghostly pallor that like he's had since his little freak out.
Mm-hmm.
He does he doesn't look great, but he's alive. That's saying something.
Right. Yeah. So then after that, T. As you're leaving, Kalik approaches you and says, "Dear, I do have something that I'd like to talk with you about, if you wouldn't mind, if we just get someplace a little more private." Right. And then she snaps her fingers and a door shows up. And she says, "If you wouldn't just mind following me into my demi-plane."
Wouldn't expect anything less.
So at T, as you enter the demi-plane with Kalik, I'm going to ask that everyone aside from Alice leave the call.
Oh my fucking
All right,
God.
everybody, let's go to nothing bad come this. Remember, your actions have consequences. You didn't fucking think about them last time, you dumb.
All right, they're consequences for myself.
Mm-hmm.
Oh boy.
This is gonna be fine.
So
Hi, Kalik.
you enter into Kalik's demi-plane. what you see is, instead of what you may expect from Colic, like something more natural looking, something like with her little mushroom guys or anything like that, you see what looks to be a very neat and organized and like almost clinical study. Several books on ornate shelves. There seem to be journals that are open. You recognize some of the notes that she has open right now are the notes that you took from Grace Claudius, as well as the blood of Grace. Well, a giant glass beaker full of blood that you can only assume is the blood that you extracted from Grace Claudius, and a large, like, neat, like, fireplace that gives off like kind of a warm radiation, but not like, it seems like it's magically maintained. This doesn't look like it's kind of like a perpetual magical fire. And Colic looks to you and says, "So, my dear, it's something I'd like to discuss with you. You have shown that you are incredibly gifted at interrupting the plans of the Immortal Empress, her lackeys, and by extension, the sort of the legacy of Morrigan. And for that, I must applaud you.
Thank you.
And I think that now that we're reaching this sort of pinnacle, I'd like to take the time to share something with you." And with that, she is going to suddenly you see her form begin to shift and change, and you get this overwhelming sense of a divinity as her form shifts from a hag into what appears to be an elven woman with very flowing robes, chestnut hair, and she says, "Greetings, Tiana, daughter of Harrison and Eileen. I don't suppose you remember me."
Not at the moment, but I'm certainly in awe.
"Though I do suppose that makes sense. You did not exactly meet me, you met a form of me. I am Elothan, goddess
Oh,
of magic and secrets."
by the gods, it's an honor to meet more of you.
"Indeed. As you may be aware, my whole self is one that is fully dedicated to the disruption of Morrigan, her plans, her pantheon. I'm not so sure how pious you were, but I have no love for the current ruler of the Sylvanus Pantheon. Her conquest and forcible subjugation of all the other Sylvanists, including my dear twin, is something that I can never fully forgive. And as a result, I fractured my divinity and warped it into the being known as Colic. And I've been working to undermine Morgan ever since, in a way that she could never trace back to my whole self."
I dare to say you've done an excellent job.
"Oh, why, thank you. I come to you because I see great potential in you, not only in the gifts that have already been provided to you from Colic, but I see a potential that, should you manage to do so, you could even prove yourself to be worthy of being called a chosen of Elothan."
My lady, you flatter me. I can only hope to live up to such praise.
"Indeed. Now, I would ask that you, if you are willing to accept this title and honor, I shall, in addition to becoming a chosen of mine, I shall grant you one divine boon that it would be within my ability to grant. However, keep in mind this is contingent upon your successful defeat of the Immortal Empress.
These seem like reasonable terms.
Very well.
What else would be involved? I've already dedicated my afterlife to the service of, I suppose, you.
Mhm.
What else would be involved?
In doing so, you shall not only join me in the afterlife as a hag in Kalak's coven, but I shall also fracture your soul and recreate that fractured piece of you into a celestial that will be a member of Elothan's divine court. In doing so, you shall be working as a secret agent for Elothan and helping to undermine and further fracture any hold that Morgan has over the Sylvanus Pantheon. We shall be working together on two fronts, not only as Kalak and her loyal coven member, but as Elothan and her loyal celestial.
That Wow. So, if I'm to understand, I'm essentially twice as efficient, serving different faces of yourself.
Indeed.
And I get to screw over Morrigan, which has become a favorite pastime of myself. And I get to work with an incredibly powerful goddess. I I would be absolutely honored to accept.
Very well, my dear. Now, in addition to this, I must let you know that I cannot allow you to even. I understand that you are a loyal being and you would not wish to divulge my secrets, but I'm going to have to make use of a spell to rewrite your memories of this event. Keep in mind, I swear to you, and I shall have it so that. And she takes a. She kind of like reaches in to nothing. Her hand just kind of disappears as she reaches and pulls out uh, uh, a golden needle. She says, "This is a implement of my own design." As she pricks into her thumb and draws a line of golden ichor across her hand, uh, and says, "I shall make a binding vow with you that I shall honor the terms of our agreement, regardless of your memory of the events. Is this acceptable to you?"
Yes, this is.
She pricks your hand as well, drawing your blood. And do you shake her hand?
Oh, yeah, I do.
All right. You feel a surge of divine energy course through you as you agree on this, and she also casts the Modify Memory spell on you.
Yep.
Uh,
I think there's a save. I'll willingly fail it as a
Yes.
show of good faith.
Yep. And in doing so, this whole event is removed from your mind.
Good.
And you are left with the memory of Kalik just wanting to tell you about ways that once you're a hag, like things that you can do with your hag powers, including how you can summon mushrooms and turn them into little guys,
yeah.
and how like they're kind of idiots, but they're very fun at parties and stuff like
Good.
that. So yeah, so with that, this will conclude, and you will leave the demiplane, and that's when everyone else will.
Hell yeah.
I'll let them know to come in.
Yay.
So yeah, was that
Woo.
that
That was fantastic. That was incredible.
Mhm.
Incredible. I will say no details, but that was
Man,
incredible.
y'all were yapping and yapping and yapping.
That is,
Christ.
I get mushroom friends when I die.
We get high? Fuck yeah.
So T, you leave the demiplane with Kalik,
Awesome.
and yeah, things that'll be it for you tonight.
Oh Christ.
All right. So, unless anyone has anything else they want to go over, Zeroth?
Zerath is going to that night. He's going to cast Commune
Okay.
with Baphomalia because after seeing some of his friends and everything going on, he has got a couple questions he could use a little help with.
Okay. Yeah, if you
Yes.
wouldn't mind, yeah, thank
Yep.
you.
He has a couple
Uh,
questions. His whole checklist falls down.
Yeah.
So,
3 questions, yes or no.
so you set up your incense, you take your vial of water, spray it, and then you feel the connection.
He's tuning. He's tuning.
As you feel this connection, you do feel that there's a sort of like disturbance in it, like it's you're coming through. Like if it was over a radio, there'd be a lot of like static and interference, but you do feel that you've made a connection to Baphomalia.
Mistress Baphomalia, I made it. We're doing it. Things are going great. Couple quick questions because things are a little off than what I was expecting. I don't know. Can I do an insight check on Essa to catch fully the current place that Essa's in? Just like, can I get any sense of what's different about him at this point?
It will do like a retroactive insight
Yeah.
check.
Yeah.
Oh,
God
So
damn
beautiful
it.
for Gilsey, a nat 1.
That
That's
fits.
still a
fits.
10, so I'll say there's definitely something different.
Yeah.
Ghost
Uh,
hands.
I guess with the nat 1, all he can really ask for is that's okay.
You'll feel like just and then you'll hear I don't believe so. I can't get a accurate look at him, but there's something very odd hanging over us.
Okay. Cool. Okay. We're going to try to bring Lakar Coxix back or a form to help us in this fight. I know we're going to be doing a ritual for, but am I able to, with your connection and the point of coalescence there, do anything to help her be stronger?
Possible.
Okay. That's very helpful. This is sort of a long-term thing. We'll talk about it a little bit more as the days go on. We got a couple days. Are you able to help me find any of the strengths and or weaknesses of the Immortal Empress?
No known weaknesses.
Okay. That helps a little bit. All right. That's all I got. Love you.
Do well. And then the connection fades.
She didn't say it back. Damn it, Sarah. Okay. We're good.
He
We're
might
good.
have.
She might have. It just is a bad connection. You don't know.
Kelsey does not register that. Kelsey will then just at some point, very awkwardly, kind of chopper style, be outside of Toros's door, trying to hide, but struggling in this giant body of his.
Like outside his door.
Yeah.
Zeroth is still like in the mind of I'm Killsy sized, not Zeroth sized. So like you're peeking, but you like the door, like the window in the door is still like
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like it's one of those things where he kind of like does a double take where he's like cleaning a weapon. He like looks over, just that feeling of being watched, and just kind of goes back, and then just slowly turns back and just, hey, buddy, how you doing over there?
Hey, didn't see you there. What? Question. Can I come in?
Sure, come on in.
That was my question. Turns around, leaves.
So you're really awesome. You always have been, and you seem like you've gotten even cooler since I last saw you, which is super dope. I got two quick things to ask you, if that's cool. Then I'll let you go.
Sure.
I don't want to be a bother. Number one. What's the deal with Essa? Is he okay? Can I heal him? Has he been healed?
Um,
Is it a stomach thing?
I don't know how to explain it to someone like you, but the quick answer is no. From what I can tell, I haven't talked to him. He doesn't seem to be doing so good. Just mentally. Yeah, that's just what mortals do sometimes. We kind of just have bad days. Just seems like his bad day's going on for a very long time. I
It's been
don't.
going on for 20 years now.
Is there anything I can do to help?
That might be a question for him. He's not great at talking, much like all of us, but he especially is not the most approachable sometimes when it comes to communicating his feelings.
Yeah, gotcha. That kind of leads into the second question. I look out the window real quick just to make sure no one's looking. I'm really scared of disappointing you guys. Like really, really scared. What? Any tips? How do I make like Oberon and Essa not feel like I'm just a burden on them?
Oberon is really hard. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie to you. It took a really long time to. I don't. Sometimes I'm not even sure. He's very stoic in his ways, and it's hard to tell what he's even thinking. Just kind of like tries to think of like how to explain it.
I cast guidance on you.
Seems like you're working on something, bud.
No, just go
I
ahead.
massage
Take
your
your time.
temples.
All right. I don't think that's helping.
Oh, sorry.
Keep out of his way for the most part and assist him where you can, but don't seem like you're assisting too much. That might just lead to him being annoyed more.
I'm so confused.
There's like this like small smile on his face of like just seeing Killsy try to fucking communicate. Yeah, we're confusing here. Mortals, that is. You'll do okay out there. I know you can at least keep us safe for the most part. And I know you'll do your best, so just focus on keeping us healthy. Keep us safe.
You know, I was if this was before, I would have been really scared to talk to you about anything too, because you're also really cool and scary in the same like exact way, and it's really weird to me that you could be both. But since you became a paladin for Our Lady, I kind of feel connected like to your heart a little bit more, and we all over there kind of are. And everything you do has kind of been really inspiring to us and made a lot of people want to come out. So I'm really lucky and grateful it got to be me.
How long have you been watching us since we left?
Well, what do you, Jack? What do you think? Would this connection have gotten stronger when Toros
I think
actually
once
took the
Tauros
oath?
took the oath, that's where it became easier for Baphamalia and
Yeah,
her divine council to be able to see the track progress and stuff.
yeah, yeah. When you took the oath, I wasn't always there to see, but just hearing she would resonate was the big thing for me.
There's like this like again that small smile kind of grows just a little bit more, like more of like just knowing that she's watching as he kind of like rests a hand on his medallion. We've been fighting for a while, and I'm I'm not gonna lie, Kelsey. I'm a little worried about my team. There's a lot going on with all of us. Essa has his own thing going on, and he doesn't like to talk. Oberon already doesn't normally like to talk, but he seems much quieter. And now that we lost Edgar, I'm worried about him. T's seemed different than usual, and I don't know. It's hard to explain, but it's different. Sometimes not in such a good way. I'm never the one with words, ever. Ever since I was a kid, I was not the one to be able to talk very well, but I know I've got to be there for them. I've never had to be the supporting beam, but I will for them. And what makes me feel a little bit better is that deep down, I know you will too. And I appreciate you being here. I appreciate Baphomelia sending you to help. Because we are a little in over our heads, and we need as much help as we can get.
Permission to cast a spell, sir? What?
You don't have to call me sir. Go ahead.
Aye, Captain. Captain.
No,
Okay.
that's worse.
All right.
Whatever you say, my lord.
Kelsey is going to clench a amulet with a bone attached to it that you didn't see when you met Kelsey before. Something that he always seems to hold whenever he gets a little stressed or a little excited. Any kind of emotion, this is what he goes for immediately. But as he grips it, it starts to glow, and he's going to cast in this moment Spirit Guardians. And what may have in the past been the forms of different creatures just like him from the point of coalescence, as you look at the spectral beings, it's actually just all of you. It's you as your heroes, in the forms that you were in the fight against Radibus Rex at that point. And you just kind of let that sit for a little while and just say, I don't know the words part at all, Tauros, but everything we felt from you over there, everything that I've gotten to see, you're the most inspiring heroes that we've got right now. So you've overcome a lot. And I think you guys can overcome this too. Because we need you.
As you sit there in the warm glow of the Spirit Guardians, all of a sudden, Tauros, your divine sense, without you activating it, suddenly screams at you. There's
Ooh.
this intense feeling of something. It doesn't even recognize it as fiendish. It's something worse.
It's bad.
Kelsey, you get a sense of something that should not ever be this close to the mortal realm suddenly trying its best to break through the wall. T, you feel a gnawing power as you have to hold your hag form at bay as it's trying to force itself up inside of you. And Oberon, Woon perks up his ears and is immediately growling, looking in the direction of S's room. And as all of you rush to S's room, you see him hovering above his bed, swirling vortexes of purple smoke all around him as he's screaming in pain. And we're going to back up a little bit.
Oh, shit. Oh, shit.
Well, I hope you got your backup character ready, Dakota.
That's a villain laugh, Dakota. That's a villain laugh.
Essa,
Hey.
as you were sleeping, you get this sensation in your body. You feel your Reaper's Bait form, pressing forward, even in your unconscious mind as you sleep. And as it does, you suddenly, in your dream, envision yourself standing before a vortex of swirling purple smoke, green and red skulls drifting in and out in this sort of like, they come out of the edges towards the center, from the center towards the edges. It's a sort of like infinite loop of
Yeah.
death and entropy that you suddenly see before you. And in this moment, you get the sense that it is reaching out to you, offering you more power than you could ever imagine.
There's no voice, it's just a feeling.
If you remember how Kalik has described the Reaper, it's not a conscious, discrete entity. It is the force of entropy and destruction and death made manifest. There is no unified singular voice in your head. You just hear the wails of those damned to non-existence. It suddenly cuts out in the middle of the scream.
Yeah, Essa hearing those screams, he looks at his hands like this, that kind of ghostly green, almost like slightly like the translucent that they are, that had become from the overuse of his powers. The kind of ghostly pallor that his skin has taken on since he's gotten this upgrade. And he just looks up to it and goes, "No."
As you say no, that vortex expands suddenly and rapidly, like an explosion of death. At this point, this is when your body in the real waking world is beginning to levitate off of your bed, and the echoes of the Reaper begin to emanate from you. This swirling vortex attempts to engulf you, forcing itself upon you without your assent. And
Go ahead, sorry.
oh no, you go ahead.
Essa, if he can move, is going to run.
You attempt to run, and you see that there is nothing around you except for the Reaper. At this point, this is when the rest of you will have run into the room.
Oh shit.
Yeah, just
alright.
sees this. Yeah.
Sorry, quick question. Instead of Essa screaming in pain, can we say that it's his ghostly wail just constantly going off?
Absolutely.
Ooh.
It's
Like
the
it's shaking the room. It's that powerful.
it's the necrotic force of your ghostly wail echoing.
It's used in the same effect as when it was used in Richard's Banner when he used it that time.
Cool.
I upon seeing this am going to cast a 6th level dispel.
You go and you cast it, and the tendrils of the Reaper simply absorb the spell.
I had to try anyway.
Does it
Yeah,
look
that's
like
fair.
he's taking damage?
When that happens, though, you see a brief glint of light, something conflicting with the surrounding void of Reaper that's around you.
I try and reach and grab it.
You reach out, and your fingers kind of brush against it without being able to find solid purchase. T, you feel in that moment that Essa is reaching out.
He needs help.
All right. How high is Essa like hovering above the ground?
No more than 5 feet. It's not like it's like right
Alright.
up above the bed. Kind of thing.
Just going to turn to Tauros and be like, "All right, just give me whatever you got," and gonna quickly just slam Rock'em Sock'em together and activate my Storm Rune at the same time, and just reach to just physically grab Essa.
Yeah, as you reach through this miasma to try to grab to Essa, give me a con save.
Okay.
No,
I'm
sorry.
picturing
Actually, my apologies. Give me a death save.
Cool.
Yeah.
Advantage.
I'm picturing this is the River of Souls from Disney's
Oh,
Hercules.
I'm giving myself advantage with the Storm Rune.
Okay.
Oh,
13.
All right. You do not suffer a death save failure as you reach out and grab onto Essa. Essa, with this, you suddenly feel a reassuring sort of hand on your shoulder that you recognize to be Oberon.
yeah. S is gonna put his hand onto that. Like, I don't know if like his physical body does the same thing, but he just go
Yeah.
ahead.
No, sorry. Yeah, your physical body is non-reactive at this
Yeah.
moment.
He just looks to the Reaper and goes, "Remove yourself."
Yeah. At this, Essa, uh, give me a wisdom save.
Okay.
Quick question: Can we? Is if Tauros is within 10
Taurus
feet of
is going to
us?
try something too, yeah.
Would that
I'll say
affect
this.
it at
This
all?
is just because Oberon approached. I'm going to say that Taurus's
Okay.
aura won't be affecting this one.
Fair.
That's a 2.
Two.
Oof.
Essa, you feel the Reaper push back in on you, but you still have Oberon there anchoring himself to you.
Taurus
Yeah.
will yell up to Oberon, bring him down, as you see him bring his hoof up and stomp it on the ground, and you see this kind of like arcane circle appear around him, and he's going to wait for him to bring him down to cast Protect from Good and Evil.
Yeah.
Yeah, so just doing my best, like grab him with two hands now, despite the fact that it probably feels like Oberon's hands are like rotting on the inside as he grabs through this miasma.
Absolutely. Tauros, give me a death save fail.
You got it.
Not a fail, sorry. A
Death
death
save
save.
fail.
A death
That's
save.
a fail.
Jinxed it.
That's a
All right,
12.
Tauros, you do not suffer a death save failure as you reach out with your protection from evil and good. Essa, you now feel Tauros's reassuring hand on your other shoulder.
Yeah. Essa, like feeling that magic kind of go through and just turns back to the Reaper and goes, "Why do you want me?"
You get this sense. There's this like almost a hunger. It's like the closest. That's not what it is, but it's the closest thing you can equate to this sensation that assaults your mind and your thoughts. It doesn't seem even so much that the Reaper necessarily wants you specifically. It knows that you are the potential to become a vessel for it, and
You are the weakest link.
you are the one that will usher it in to the material world.
Do I get a sense that it needs me, or that it just knows that I'm the one that could potentially it could manipulate the best?
You do get
As
the
if I'm
sense
the
that
only
like
one. Is it desperate to get me?
it is desperate to get you. It wants you specifically. In the sense of like when I said that like it wasn't necessarily you specifically. Previously, it was more of like it doesn't want you for you. It wants you for the
Wants you for-
potential that is within you.
Yeah. Essa just kind of looks and kind of smirks and goes, "Am I the only one?"
Yeah. So now give me another wisdom save, but this time add a 5 to it.
Okay.
And I'm going to
That's a
send the
19.
crown. I'm going to send the crown to him for advantage.
Advantage. That's a 23 or 22.
22. You, with the assistance of Tauros and Oberon, you are able to feel yourself reject the Reaper. And you begin pushing it away from you. Its miasma is no longer fully enshrouding you as you feel the assistance of your friends.
I'm gonna try, because if I can feel their hands, I'm gonna try in this kind of moment as I can feel him receding to try and use Tauros and O'Brien's anchors to pull myself away fully.
Yeah.
Could Killsy do something in this moment? as well?
Absolutely.
Killsy seeing this kind of battle with death that everyone is going through and trying to help as well. Is going to Spirit Guardians last a while. He's going to take the visage of all of you fighting in that moment, and he's going to let it absorb around into a sort of dome as he's going to cast Beacon of Hope to give advantage on death saves, wisdom saves, and make healing. It's going to
Hell
there
yeah.
in that moment.
Yeah. And then with that as well, the image of Edgar in this beacon does also move out specifically to Essa, and Essa, from beyond what's even possible, you feel the reassuring hand of Edgar on your back.
Essa just nods, and that's when I imagine he like fully tries to pull himself free from the Reaper.
Absolutely. And give me one more wisdom save.
Advantage.
With advantage.
Do I
With
still get the
advantage,
+5?
and give me a +7 this time.
+7. That's 19.
19. And with that, you feel yourself like the Reaper is desperate. It is clawing, it is wailing, it is doing it. You feel it still has one small little grip on you. You feel that as Kalik talked to you way back in the Linnaean forest, that shard of itself that rests within you is desperately clinging onto that as hard as it can. You feel that it is you are moments away from claiming your freedom from the Reaper.
Can Essa try in this moment, in like his sort of dream body, reach into himself to pull out? If he can feel like a physical shard of the Reaper, he wants to try to reach in and pull it out.
Yeah. Give me a wisdom save.
All right.
Is T gonna
Same.
be doing anything to try to assist you?
Yeah. T is going to cast. Oh gosh. It's about wisdom.
Fireball.
I'm gonna cast skill empowerment for
Absolutely.
wisdom.
All right. Yeah, so you feel this reassuring magic as you feel the reassuring hand of T on your back as well. And you know that all of your friends are doing everything in their power to assist you with this. And give me another wisdom save, this time with a +9.
Did I also get the
Ooh.
advantage from Beacon of Hope?
Yep.
Just don't double that
That's
one.
that's a 24.
You
yeah.
reach into your incorporeal body, reach your hand around that shard, and forcibly rip it from you. You feel this like sudden psychic like pain deep within your mind as you rip it off and toss it away. As the Reaper, it fades, it swirls in on itself, and eventually just it's gone. And your body falls back onto your bed. That miasma that was surrounding it has disappeared. And so you are still unconscious. You're still in this same strange dreamscape. As you are breathing heavily, you blink, you feel your friend's assistance recede. When you look up, you see your mother. And she's smiling. This warmest smile that you could ever imagine.
And Essa, for the first time, and I think like genuinely for the first time in a long time, he smiles. And like I imagine like he looks at himself and sees like the color returning, the kind of ghostliness disappearing.
Your mother reaches out and grabs you, hugs you, and says to you, "I'm so proud of you. And as much as I wish I could spend more time with you, I don't want you here until you've had the chance to live the life I've always wanted you to have." She kisses your cheek, and she disappears. You feel that warmth of her embrace still with you. When suddenly you feel that again, that strange lance of psychic assault on your mind, and your body convulses, and then it goes still. And you open your eyes. Roll me a d10.
Okay.
All
That's
right.
a lot.
Right in the middle. Right in the middle.
Mid?
Right in the middle.
Okay. So as you open your eyes, you look out and you see several people surrounding you in this room. People who you do not recognize.
Oh no.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
as this occurs to you, you realize that you also fail to recognize who you are, as you unfortunately will be suffering from a amnesiac state for 50 hours as a result of
50
long-term madness.
hours. That
Essa,
could have been worse.
Essa immediately upon waking up and not realizing who he is,
I was about to say, Oberon, you just
We're
see
probably all
big.
around him.
Yeah, big Oberon still has like a hand like on your shoulder from when he like dragged you down.
he like
Big
Essa like tries to immediately push them off and goes, "Where am I? Who? What?"
Can I
You
roll an
okay now, Essa?
Can I roll an insight
Yeah.
check on hearing who are you to see if this is similar to what Edgar experienced?
Absolutely.
Yeah, Tor's almost still like above him, just like with his hands on his chest. It's okay. How are you feeling?
That's a 31.
Oh God.
Okay. Oh, I'm so sorry. So actually, I misread the effect of this madness.
Oh.
It's 5 years.
You do know who you are.
You are.
You retain all of your racial traits and class features, but you do not recognize other people or remember anything that happened before this madness took effect in you.
So basically, to Essa, the campaign has never happened.
Yes.
Essa, like seeing this and like seeing all the people around him again, just kind of just backed up to the wall, asking, "Who are you?" Trey rolled a 31 on that check, but I
Yes.
gave him anything.
So that 31 nat 20 insight is going to let you know that he seems to be suffering some kind of adverse effect. But from the color returning to his body, the change in his hands, you know that the Reaper is gone, but you don't know exactly how long this side effect is going to last.
Where am I?
Again. Listen. As Oberon's going to like shrink, his form's going to shrink back down. You need to take a deep breath. You are amongst friends.
You
You
don't
Do
just
I?
came.
recognize us?
No.
Oh.
Can I
Listen.
insight check for if Essa's having an anxiety attack in this?
Yeah.
You know what? Possibly
I
at
mean,
this point.
I'm not even
Yeah,
good.
this
That's
is-
I don't know if
low
I-
hanging
yeah.
fruit. That's low hanging
It's-
fruit.
It's a necessary thing for Kelsey to cast a spell.
I
It's
mean,
not
yeah, he
without doing it.
is, but it's
Uh,
not. It's not the
hey,
main problem with him.
Mhm.
I can't do much, but I can help calm him down a little bit magically. I know that's not the coolest thing in some situations. Do we need that right now?
Looks like it might help.
If you're going through a lot, I can not gonna touch anything, but just help with the anxiety piece.
Yeah.
It's all.
S's eyes are S's eyes are like darting between the door and the window. He very clearly is like looking to see which one would be the better escape route right now.
Oberon, I'm going to say, is it fair to say with the part of that nat 20 per insight,
Yeah.
I can see S's eyes starting over this?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, Oberon just looks at him and he just goes, "Listen, if you run, you're just going to be even more confused. We're here to help. You need, I'm going to say calm down, but just listen."
T will kind of take a step back to give him some space.
Mhm.
Because she was definitely starting to crowd when he woke up. But just give him a little bit of space.
I'm gonna roll a just an insight for Essa just to see if he can in this moment kind of understand what Oberon's saying.
Can I roll a persuasion check to see how well Oberon gets his point
Yeah,
across?
give me a persuasion check from Oberon.
23.
Yeah. I would say with he beating a 10, yeah, he's like Essa like nods and just kind of goes, "Okay, where am I, and who are all of you?"
Oberon's just going to nod, and he's going to just look to Killsy and Taurus. Just maybe a good idea to check around, see if that display caught anybody else's attention.
Okay.
Yeah, let's do a quick perimeter check.
No.
Yeah, you'll as you all are walking around, like I'm at this point, like Oberon and T are working to explain what they can.
Yeah,
to Essa,
catching Essa up to this point.
And
The road so far.
Oberon and Zaroff, you
Boros and Zeroth.
oh my
Boros and
god, why do
Zeroth.
I keep doing this? You there are people that come out like asking what's going on, what happened. You're able to reassure people that there was an incident, everyone's safe, everyone's okay, it's been resolved. Yeah, there doesn't seem to be any like hostile
Okay.
people coming up or anything, so you don't
Yeah.
need to worry about that. And I'll say, as that is happening, Oberon and T have explained to Essa that there's a war going on. That however much of it you both would want to explain to Essa to try to catch him up as to what he's missing.
Essentially explaining everything.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Tell me he owes me $5.
No.
Tell him to get. He has to give Tauros a sword.
Yeah.
No.
So yeah,
It's really
so
bad for him, actually.
so as I'll say, as you both are like returning from, talking to people, T and Oberon have just finished catching up Essa as much as they can.
T. Oberon,
Yes.
question: has something like this happened before? Right?
Is something similar happened with Edgar once recently?
We've definitely had people unwantingly poking in mines, but this kind of like snapping a little in front of Essa seems to have some more staying power.
I'm not, I can follow your fingers. I'm not like comatose.
I'm
Zeroth is doing like the doctor physical stuff.
Explain, AJ.
So
He's checking.
So something that
reflexes.
has been kind of conflicting for you, though. T and Oberon have been explaining like your abilities that they've seen you perform, but you are certain that you cannot do the things that they have told you that you can do. You're not able to commune with the dead.
See, like I don't know what to believe right now. This is a lot. Oh, it's a lot.
I'm sure.
But talking to dead, that's not something I've ever been able to do. Using ghostly powers, like he says, like the cards. He like looks on his person, see if he can find the cards they mentioned. I imagine they've fucking gone after.
There are no tarot cards on your person.
There's nothing.
Or in your possessions.
As a grave cleric, like I have a channel to have the ability to see undead to a further degree. I want to just pump everything in just to see if Essa's giving off a very different vibe than he did before as like the phantom.
Can I also do a check like that?
Yeah, you can do your divine sense. Your channel divinity, your divine sense. Neither of them show undead nature coming from Essa. Essa is still alive. But you also get no sense of a connection to the Reaper, or even just broadly to having a connection from beyond the wall coming from Essa.
Like I said, I've never been able to talk to the dead. I don't know.
The
what
one thing
that's about.
If any of you are like searching through Essa's possessions to like try to find those cards, you do find the medium's channel. But when you present it to Essa, there seems to be no resonance.
Yeah, Essa will take and like try to use it. Like he kind of holds it up, and it's like, see,
Maybe like a phone. Try it like a phone. Maybe that
uses it like a phone.
Phone?
What's a phone, by
Like
the
a
way?
phone?
The hell's a phone?
You don't have phones in the material plane? That's crazy.
Are you not from the material plane?
Now, I'm like a I'm a celestial from the divine realm.
Oh well, that's just another tack on, I guess.
I probably shouldn't have said that. Wait.
I'll contest never, but I believe that after what just happened, your abilities may have vacated. Which is interesting, to say the least.
So I could talk to the dead. Now I can't. I can't even remember I could. That's. Oh, you guys are throwing a lot. Okay.
It's bit,
How far do you remember?
How far do I remember?
You don't remember anything from before the madness. That's how it works.
So I
You know who you are. You know what you can do, uh, but you
I
don't
know
know
my
anything
name's.
from before that.
I know my name is Essa. I know I am. I can sneak around. I can stab things pretty good. That's about it. None of you I remember. I don't know how I got here. What led to this?
Do you remember school?
No, I guess I went through it. I don't know.
Your adventuring academy? T
You
will
shake
pull
this.
out her, battered and beaten license. One of these?
Essa will search for his. Like if he finds it, like
Yeah.
I guess I went through it, but I don't remember. Like I said, all I remember is just I can remember who I am, and that's and
This
like
all
Essa finally
started because
realizing
our
what it means is like that's it.
this all started because our final exam went tits up.
We started a war because we failed our final exam.
yeah.
We
Oh,
passed, actually. And it wasn't because of that, but it definitely helped.
Strange circumstances.
Yeah, I hope you all. I don't mean to sound rude, but you all sound like fucking crazy people. I hope you
That
know
makes
that.
sense. That makes sense.
So let me recount some of the things that you've told me. I had a friend at one point that could turn into a giant skeletal monster or a giant elf monster.
Mm-hmm.
Like decently sized height skeleton monster, yes.
yeah, not super
Uh,
big.
you can turn into a
He's still
hag.
medium.
Points to T.
Yes.
You can become like really fucking demonic and cool. That's what you were telling me. Or that's what they
I
were telling
guess
me.
that was cool.
No.
No, he doesn't.
She
He doesn't
she
say
po-
that.
he points to T. Says T says you were cool.
It's true.
That tracks.
You it points to O'Brien. You disappeared, then you came back. That was all. Oh, do you not? Does this not? Do you not understand how crazy this all sounds?
No, it very much does. But if we're being honest, we're numb to it at this point.
It's been less than a year that all this happened to us.
What?
It's been a whirlwind, to say the least.
And I've been here this whole time.
And
Yes.
tomorrow we're marching to war.
To where?
The capital.
Uh,
Aoibhen.
Yeah.
Oh, that
we
sounds
kind of need to
great.
go.
That sounds like it's gonna work well.
Yeah. We're about to topple the entire empire that rules this land.
Oh, it's just a good time to lose my memory, I guess.
yeah. Did you mention the Alec Ray?
Oh, I don't believe we have.
The what?
Yeah. I was afraid of the word, so I didn't say it.
No, I understood.
The-
We'll that it's fine. We don't need that part right now.
No,
We've been
what?
through a lot. He's been through a lot. And we don't need to give him more.
Right. Well, I think at about here is when everyone is going to be forcing Essa to go to sleep. And
Calm
Yeah.
emotions.
uh,
Calm emotions.
and that'll be
You're just
Calm
saying
emotions as I beat S over the head.
that'll be it for this day. Time will continue. Mhm.
I would after this. Oh, and once we're all outside, Kelsey's gonna have a go, I'm sorry, and I don't mean to get uppity at any point, but wait. The Reaper?
Yeah,
Oberon just points to T.
shut up.
Essa from outside like hears the waves and goes, "Is that a penguin?"
No.
Man, no,
He knows what
man,
penguins
all-
are. That stays with his memory. He did not
I feel
lose
like-
the
I
memory
know
of
it-
penguins.
I feel like
that's
he
the
has
canon
basic
of it.
knowledge of life. Like he
Yeah.
knows the basic knowledge of life. He's not.
None of us
completely
knew what a
brain
penguin
dead.
was when we first saw him. None of us got the
No,
sense for it.
that's the not who Killsy is, but the memory of penguins is it did not die from the madness.
It's his anchor. It's what's
Mhm.
keeping him here.
It's one of the few memories that slipped through.
Mhm.
Good. The concept of penguins. You were saying, Kelsey.
The thing that, like, it's the end of everything. That
Yes.
thing.
Again, just points
Yeah.
at T.
Why are you pointing at her?
I may have some borrowed strength from him as well.
Borrow means that you intend to return it.
And technically I do. In the darkest way.
Oberon, Killsy sees Oberon like put his like fingers to his nose, and it's just, well,
That's
it-
very fair. That one is incredibly fair in this moment.
Mhm.
I don't know what Celestials can excrete, but whatever he can, Killsy is gagging. It's
Mhm.
like, what?
A bunch of like
Sorry.
fish heads
Oh.
and spines and coming out.
No,
Oh,
no. As
oh,
Oberon
no.
literally like picks T up, puts her in front of him. So these two, as he points to T and then points to Essa, have made two different deals with the same entity that have gone in vastly different directions, I hope. As he
It's
looks at T.
all right. Essa has used his power a lot. Used it in great ways to save us in battle, but it had taken quite the toll. I'm much more sparing with the powers, as I won't dare say I understand, but fear this power much more. Essa
Mm-hmm.
Essa had a bit of a death wish. And so, abusing himself for the safety of others was fine for him.
Or in a way, you could say he didn't fear the Reaper.
There it is. Thanks,
Thank you
thank you
so
guys.
much.
Thanks for coming to see us.
He didn't fear the Reaper.
We'll be here all week.
Mhm.
He,
Fucking
in
won't be.
fact, embraced it. And so, yes, we made very different deals at the get-go, but we've also treated them very differently. My debt is more so to Kalik than the Reaper.
The
Does
entity that
Alex ring a
siphons her.
bell? To me?
Give me a religion check to know if you know who Colic is.
She was in the meeting today. Or no, she wasn't.
Well,
She pointed me
I
after.
know what you
Yeah.
know.
No, she
of
was.
Colic.
She was. She
Yeah.
brought up
Yeah.
point.
A
Oh, yeah.
15,
Not knowing who she.
a 15, you'll know that like she's some sort of like fae kind of creature that
Okay.
has worked to against Morrigan frequently. She's not necessarily someone who's allied with Baphomalia, but they share overlapping interests.
Okay.
Not a whole lot of direct collaboration, but definitely
Yeah.
not any antagonism.
Okay. And she gave you Reaper powers.
Yes.
Oh. Okay.
She's the reason that I have power in the first place.
Oh.
It was part of a
Okay.
grudge.
Yes, I'm technically petty revenge.
I don't know what that means, but I don't like it.
I like that word.
It's empowering. Don't worry about it.
I'm following your lead. I'm here. I'm here to support. I'm here
I'm
to do everything I
freaking
can
out.
to help. Just if you could, keep the Reaper. He whispers every time he says Reaper. The Reaper stuff to a minimum.
That's what I intend to do. I promise you, Kelsey, I will only pull out that kind of power if our lives depend on it.
Oh,
The
we're
hag
not
stuff
going.
I can't promise, but the
That's fine.
the Reaper I will use discretion.
Kelsey gives a look to Toros after the conversation they had, and Kelsey trying to inspire, and Kelsey's like, I think I take it all back. I don't know how I feel anymore.
I don't like it here.
I am not cut out for this shit.
Mhm.
Mom, pick me up from the sleepover. I'm scared.
They summoned the devil.
They're doing the Reaper.
They said they had juice boxes, but all they had was death.
Uh,
The
well,
exact vibes here.
yeah. So,
Would Toros have time for one more thing tonight?
yeah.
He is going to kind of collect his things, just collect himself, and he is going to go chat with Mal.
Yeah. So you go find Mal. It's it's fairly late, but she invites you in. She's taken up residency in Toldrin's mayoral manor. Uh, she says, "Oh, Tauros, yeah. How can I help you?"
I was hoping maybe we could just chat.
Yeah, no. Let me get. You want? I have tea. Like that's something we could. If you want to chat, like I
He's in
have.
there.
I I would like that. Just goes and gets tea. Get. Uh, I would like that.
Yeah, she puts on a kettle. She's like, so what do you want to talk about?
I I know we're going to be marching tomorrow, and we're going to be sending in our team to take care of everything. I was I was hoping to ask you if when we get out of this, if you would like a hand in bringing Elder Creek back to what it should be.
Oh, yeah, no, I'd be happy to do that. Go ahead and give me just a little insight check, Toros.
All right. Insight 14. What the
14.
a
Uh,
religion check.
14 insight. You know what? She's a politician, so you can't tell that she's a little bit disappointed when you say that you want to help give your hand in
To the town.
helping Ellicree. But she says I'd be happy to have your help, Toros. That'd be great.
It would be my honor. I know I've made so many mistakes in my past. I know I've made a lot of poor choices. I still regret coming to see you that first time and
That's it.
how it went down. But I would like to be there with you and help you where I can.
She
Coward.
she she smiles and puts a hand on your hand and says, "I'd be I'd be really happy to have you with me, Toros."
And there's like this small smile that I feel like one of the only people to recognize this kind of doofy smile is Mal, and he kind of like looks up to her and nods. Um, but it kind of wavers. Can I can I ask you one more thing? Chat's not gonna like what's gonna happen next. Chat's not gonna like what's gonna happen next.
She says, "Yeah, what anything."
If I don't make it out of this fight, can you Just watch over my father, please. I
Uh, go ahead. Sorry.
haven't talked to him ever since I left. I've never said anything to him, even when we came back. I couldn't even look him in the eye because I was too ashamed and too afraid. But I don't want him to be alone.
Uh, she's gonna just smile again and say, "You're much sweeter than you need to be." But I do love that about you.
There's a
Uh,
there's like a sudden little blush on his face, and he's kind of like almost stumbles over his words. I yeah. I'm just gonna do a wisdom save with
okay.
disadvantage
Okay.
Can
to
I
see if
give
he can
him
even
double disadvantage?
a fucking another crown from across the field.
Just
That's a 14. He's able to keep himself pretty well.
okay.
I I appreciate you, Mel. I know that you know that I'm not always the one with the words, as I've actually just told someone today, but I appreciate knowing I have you who I don't need words with. Kind of like take the hand back, like almost like put his hand over hers and just
Mm-hmm.
give it like a small squeeze.
Yeah. She definitely has a bit of a blush creep up on her cheeks, and she says, "I feel the same way." I think we're gonna fade out from there. Uh,
From the ether, Edgar says, "That's hot." Respectfully, though.
Consensual hand holding.
it like
That's
the
hot.
camera pans up and we see a constellation of Edgar saying that's hot. No. The next day comes and the march begins. It'll be a 3-day journey to Aoibhen. As this day goes on, Essa, from talking with your companions and from going over your items that are in your possession, you are slowly beginning to piece together and recover some memories. You notice that, like, especially like as time goes on, more and more of memories are coming back to you, confirming the things that were told to you. Uh, uh, but even then, as you are regaining your memories, as your psyche is healing from the trauma of forcibly rejecting the Reaper, uh, you do still recognize that although you apparently had the ability to commune with the dead and channel them in the past, that ability escapes you now.
yeah. Imagine the first thing the group sees about Essa in the morning once like the walk starts, the travel begins, is he's in a completely different outfit than what he's normally wears. Gone the kind of like darker browns and blacks that he kind of wore. Now you see this almost kind of like it's still the same armor. He just the outfit he wears around is different. It's a bit of a lighter bit, like just kind of a simple outfit that he's wearing. A lot more bright colors, and his eyes had gone from that kind of almost like they were missing their pupil, that kind of white color to being back to the brown color that they were when this began. And this is what you see.
Let's go.
Mm-hmm.
It's got a
Oh, yeah.
little kind of like auburn gold shoulder cape as well.
Right. Uh,
Does Essa? Do I realize that like as my memory comes back? Do I realize does the memory of having the power come back?
I'd say that the memory of having the power does come back, but there's this sort of like understanding that from the rejection of the Reaper, you got rid of the
Literal piece of him that was
yes,
in me.
but it also robbed you of your connection to death. Uh, and as of now, you are just relying on your rogue skills and not your phantom skills.
Yeah, I think there's a moment
He's
where
not a
like
phantom.
yeah. I think there's a moment where he where the group is kind of walking together, and he just kind of goes, "Whatever powers those were, they're gone now." Which means
I'm
I'm not
glad
gonna
to
be
hear
as
you say that.
yeah, but means I'm not gonna be as effective as I once was
That
until I find something to replace that.
I'll
well,
take alive over effective.
Me too.
As you go forward, you do I'll say you do get a memory of another rogue. You still have, like, you're still a high level rogue. You're still
Yeah.
at that proficiency. But as you're like considering what new things you can do to replace it, you do get a memory of another rogue that you all have worked together with, who they showed some proficiency and aptitudes in things that were more of the mundane variety, but were still very effective as you gain memories of your times fighting alongside and against Spade.
I like to think that memory happens as it's talking, and he's like cusses it off and goes, "Wait a minute," and he goes to find Spade instantly.
Yeah, you go rush over. You see that the cards are walking, uh, and as you rush up and approach, they all look to you, uh, uh, and
Like his memory isn't fully back yet, so like he knows which one's Spade, but he doesn't know what the rest are. So he's like, "Ah, can I speak to Spade for a moment?
they
I
all,
won't go far. Just
they kind of all look at each other, and then Spade just goes, okay, uh, yeah, and they
uh,
peel off from the group and speak with you.
I okay. There's a lot that's happened past 24 hours. The biggest thing is I'm going to need your help. Your poisons. Can you show me how to do that? I
They
wouldn't have a lot of time.
Yeah, they look at you and say, "Well, you're giving me kind of short notice here, but
I know.
the least I can do after you helped get us out of that trouble with Ward."
He's gonna play along like he remembers that. Like,
Yeah, and over this time, over these 3 days, uh, Spade will be giving you kind of a crash course in how to become a master poisoner. Uh, so yeah. Uh, Additionally, as you all are continuing the march, there's a moment where suddenly a scout comes rushing up to you all, uh, and announces, this is when you all are a day's journey away from Aoibhen. So this is just after completing the second day of marching. Uh, uh, and the scout reports. This is a report to the council, but of course will also include you all. That the city is undergoing severe fortification and defenses. It's virtually impossible to enter in or leave the city at this point. That counter siege weapons have been mounted on the walls. As you all have been marching, you've also noticed that the artificers and wizards that are in your company have been working tirelessly to work out blueprints and designs of reverse engineering the shatter cannons that were used against the defenses of Ongar. And seemingly they're getting very close to uh, ironing that out, and have even managed to get a group of forge clerics and creation bards to work on fabricating the necessary materials to recreate those weapons. But this guard announces that there appears to be a last line of defense, the center of the city where both the Asori tree is, as well as the gates to the Imperial Palace are being guarded by the wingless Angel of Death.
Who?
The
Come again?
wingless angel of death is the metalest thing I've ever heard. That's so fucking cool.
Anyone here can give me a history check. Tauros, you can make it with advantage.
All right.
I don't think
want
I
to
would.
make it.
I'm assuming I wouldn't.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
20.
13.
Ah, fuck. God damn it. I actually wanted to know
Could I have
that.
guidance? Could I have guidance, Tauros?
Yes, you can guidance Tauros. With the D4 Tauros.
I know.
There we
It's all
go.
point 11.
There we go.
Tauros, you've heard of the wingless Angel of Death.
Oberon, what is the wingless
God.
angel of death?
Oberon, and interestingly enough, Essa as well. Essa, this is after so like you still have like 2 hours of amnesia at this point. It's been 48 hours, but even you are like this is one of the memories that has come back to you. No, so the wingless
sounding so cool.
So back in the previous crusade, there were a lot of a lot of paladins in the Order of Midir that did a lot of shit, but none so much as the wingless Angel of Death. They single-handedly cut down hundreds of heretics and apostates that tried to flee. That they are short of for whatever reason, they never achieved levels in the ranks of the Order of Midir at the level of the Holy Knight Commander or any of the major officers. But it is a thing of, if there was anyone that it's the kind of thing where it's no one ever outright said it, but there were constant whispers that the wingless Angel of Death could be a contender for the Holy Knight Commander.
It's the GARP of the Knights of Midir.
I guess that's certainly a way to put it. That the wingless Angel of Death always wears full plate mail. That no one has ever actually seen their face. No one knows exactly who they are, what they look like, or even what they sound like, as they always wordlessly cut down the enemies of the Empire in huge swaths with a merciless ruthlessness.
Remind me, how long ago was the last crusade?
This was let me pull up World Anvil really quick, but I believe this was between 50 and 80 years ago.
Okay.
Pull up the timeline just to make sure.
I want you to know, Dakota, I said it first. I sent it to Zach literally 10 seconds before you did.
Sorry, I was wrong. It was 43 years ago. It was a crusade that was called the Great Cleansing.
Okay.
But yeah, so at this, there's some whispers and murmurs as the group is talking about this. I'll say this, Tauros, there's no way you've never heard of the wingless Angel of Death. But I imagine with you getting an 11, I'm gonna say that it's something where you've never
he actively stayed away from it out of fear, just
right.
Fear and respect of that's some scary shit.
I'll say you have never met the wingless Angel of Death for certain.
Allegedly.
I was about to say
you've never seen the wingless
There's a
Angel of Death.
Chat.
Allegedly.
And so there is some murmurs, some things like that, but ultimately it's just we knew that they were going to throw their best and strongest at us. But yeah, so then we all have the final day of marching, as it now is the 20th day of Boanan, as you all stand at the outskirts of the city of Aoibhen.
So, sorry, just feel free to correct me. Are we doing the assault tomorrow, or are we doing it today?
You'll be doing it tomorrow.
Okay. Just after you get done with all this, before we go to bed and everything, Oberon wants to have a discussion with just the main members of the group.
Absolutely. You all do what you can to assist in the setting up of the camps. Whatever assistance you are able to or willing to provide in securing supplies, in assisting with the construction or the setup of the siege weapons, and the ironing out the final details of the infiltration plan. And yeah, uh, you all look up at the city, its tall and imposing walls that were once the boundaries of your own homes. This place that the was the start of all of your adventures, the beginning of this grand uh, journey across the empire, and you know that tomorrow, whether for good or for ill, this will be the final time that this city is the capital of the Empire of Macha. Uh, and Oberon, you said you wanted to have a conversation.
Um, yeah. It's probably like the night before, or it's probably like just an hour or two as everybody's getting ready to like sleep if they can with all the nerves. That Oberon's just gonna like quickly like kind of like gather everybody around to his tent. Um, and he's just gonna like look at everybody. Like it's oddly silent for a minute as Oberon just like starts pacing back and forth. And he goes on for a minute or two. He's just not saying anything until finally he just, we need to come to a decision unanimously as a group. What are we doing with the relic?
Right. I, for one, am fairly comfortable with Plannin's proposal. I don't like the idea of anyone being a sacrificial lamb, but being as these are the terms of the relic, and it must not be preserved, I think that's an acceptable use. Ideas, opinions, please?
I agree. If we're really going to push through this to try to make a change, then what bigger statement than to bring back a dead goddess, not just a dead god, but not only that, but the daughter of the person who made the relic. It's certainly our way of trying to change things for the better. I don't like planning having to do that, but he seems at peace with it.
Turns to Tauros.
It seems like it's what we've already agreed upon, but it I can't tell if it feels right or wrong. But I also don't see another way of using it, so I'm okay with it.
Doesn't look at Killsy. Um, and Oberon nods, and he just, I agree, but we also have to think about one very important scenario. What if Planin falls before he can use the relic?
Then one of us will have to take up the mantle.
Oberon, I know what you're thinking. I think it's the same thing we're all thinking.
Feels you should use it.
Gilsey is stressed the fuck out at not being able to win this entire time. Like Gilsey is
Good.
desperately thinking,
Good.
like,
Yeah, he just. There has to be something else. Some other. If planet falls, there has to be something else we can do rather than having one of us.
These are the terms of the relic.
That is why I'm going to put myself out there to be the one to use it should the situation call for it.
Don't you dare.
It's does like say anything, but like his eyes like I fucking knew it.
Yeah,
I realize, Oberon, that you've had a martyr complex since the first day we've known each other. However, I will not let that come to fruition.
this is not about. He looks pained as if he knows you're right, but he just pushes through with it. Then what? Do you suggest you do it? I don't believe that your benefactor would be none too pleased.
I
Do you think Essa should do it with his new lease on life?
don't think it's ideal that anyone do it. I don't want to plan
Exactly.
in doing it. But if somebody has to give their life for this relic to work, then what the fuck are we supposed to do? I'm not ready to lose any of you. Not again. I know it may come to pass, and that terrifies me, because I love all of you, but someone has to. And if it ends up being me, I will settle my debts somehow.
You see Oberon has like turned to face away from everybody else in the group, and you just see his hands like shaking at his side.
What are we even doing?
I, um, I, I've been around for a really, 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 really long time.
Are you fucking serious with that voice?
Shut up. Shut
That's
up.
what I sound like, Oberon. I swear.
I'm gonna mute.
A bunch of people like turn when they hear the way.
I don't want to be lectured by the penguin from Batman the Animated Series.
I'd have to see if I cause any problems with being a celestial myself, but you guys live and you guys die. That's your whole deal. Why cut it short for something in that point? I know where I go. I know what happens. Things might be different. I know with the relic things are weird. But I really don't. I came here because I made a promise that I wouldn't let any of you die. I get this is yours. This is all yours. Whatever you need. But this world needs you guys. All of you. So if it comes down to it, I'll do it.
And
We
at this,
appreciate that, Kelsey, but we don't want it to come to.
no.
No. Okay.
And you see Oberon's like physically struggling to get the words out. He still hasn't turned around. Please. You can call it a martyr complex. You can call it a death wish. You can call it whatever you want. I shouldn't even be the one still here.
Don't
It
say that. I just turned straight. I turned immediately to Oberon, like eyes glaring at the back of his head. Do not say that.
Why not?
Because Edgar gave up his only chance of ever coming back so you could live. So we all could live. He knowingly made that choice. You do not get to say that he should still be here. You do not get to say that you should have been the one that died.
It should
Edgar
have
wouldn't
been.
want that. Edgar would
His
want you to
dying
live.
words were to inspire you to lead the change, not to die before it even got to start.
Whether you want to accept it or not, Killsy is right. And I hate to say it, Killsy, I do. But we all know he's right.
Tell. You all know little bits of my grandfather, some more than others. Do you realize the atrocities that my family has done, not to this empire, but in the name of it?
You are not your family, Oberon.
I
You have
am in name, in blood, in everything but my goal right now, and I need to change it.
then
Am I
be
to answer for the
alive
sins
to
of the
do
Rockforts?
That's different.
How?
You didn't knowingly grow up and listen and follow their teachings.
You were a child.
And you intended to be born into your family?
I intended to be a Claudius.
You intended to survive.
You were a
You intended
child.
to survive in a toxic environment. And the only way you could was to parrot whatever the fuck they told you to. The second you got to think for yourself, you steered yourself correct. And this is not an argument of morality on behalf of us. This we're not figuring out who's the worst out of us and who deserves to die for it.
Oberon,
You don't
when this.
deserve to die because of your blood.
But do I deserve to live?
Yes.
Yes!
Oberon, when this journey of ours began, in our first mission together, our first ever time teaming together, you stood up for Edgar when you saw him turn into an Asori. You stood up to Seamus, and you helped take him down in the name of protecting your brother, who you didn't even know was your brother at the time. Every step of the way you have fought to make change happen for the good of this world, not for the good of the Empire, not in the name of your family, but because you are a good person who deserves to live, even if you come from a line of horrible and atrocious people. Because their blood runs in you does not mean you are one of them. It does not mean you need to die to reset that legacy. If you want to make things right, you have to live. And I know it's hard to accept that. Trust me, you're looking at someone who had the same feelings you do right now. But if you want to be the change that you wish to be, then you have to live. Because you die, and there's no change. The Claudius names just falls.
Then shouldn't I try to at least be the one Claudius who does something to put an end to this cycle? I don't trust myself for whatever reason. How do I know that I will not end up simply continuing this cycle of just torment and oppression? How do I know that apparently grandfather is dead, but we do not know that for an absolute certain?
I have 4 reasons that you know you won't become your grandfather: Tiana, Edgar, Essa, and Tauros. Whatever else happens, us and his memory would never let you become that.
You may not trust yourself, but we trust you.
And you should trust us.
So even if you feel like you're gonna fall into those same traps your grandfather may have fell into, lean on us and let us help you get out of them, even if you start falling into them, which I don't think you will. And I think somewhere deep down inside you know that. Let us be your friends, Oberon.
I think that no matter what we decide here tonight, should Planon fall before using the relic, it's going to be a mad dash between all of us. Because even if we did agree on one person, I doubt any of us would keep that promise. So I think we should rest. I think we should prepare, and I think we should no longer think about our demises this evening, but about spending our last night on Earth with the people that we love. Anyone else?
Going to only suggest one last thing. It'll be the last thing I say on. As the only person not with a selfish agenda to use the relic, I would vote that. And you see Oberon like make a little bit of a face. I would suggest that Zeroth hold on to the relic. Also being the only cleric in the party.
I agree.
I think that's a good idea.
All right.
Oh.
Do you feel comfortable with that, Zeros?
Your compliance is not a factor.
What? What? Okay, I'll 7, I puke again.
Mhm.
Did you do this last time?
Yes.
A little bit.
It's disgusting.
That's so much fish. How did you eat so many fish?
He
We
hasn't
won't even
eaten
buy the
them,
water.
I'm stressed.
Mhm.
He
We won't
hasn't
even
You
buy
know,
eaten.
mortal bodies. Mortal bodies are really weird.
T will pass the bag of holding to Zaroth.
Zeroth, you are now in possession of the bag of holding, which includes the half of the relic.
I grab the relic. No.
And run!
Power is mine. He was OG Claudius this whole time.
That would be fucking amazing.
I'm gonna promise to hold on to this, and I'm going to promise not only as I did before to keep all of you alive, but I'll keep planning alive as much as I possibly can. So I promise.
Thank you, Zaroth.
Mm.
Oh yeah, did Tauros have?
I know it's probably this has already gone on for a long episode, but Taurus is going to kind of wait for everyone to, kind of leave the room. He's kind of like the last one, still kind of lingering, still pretty quiet through the whole conversation. I imagine Oberon's still kind of trying to like just face away from everyone, just wait for everyone to leave.
Yeah.
He'll kind of take like a deep breath and just kind of almost like just push himself up, just walk over. You see just kind of like the unsheath of the sword as he kind of just like holds it in front of him and just kind of taps the ground. Just, you're I know this is scary. I know this is a lot to do. And I know what you're agreeing to do is big. And of all the people, I know you would be the first to jump at it, even if things were different. And he just kind of like sits there for a second, kind of like in the silence. I don't want to make you second guess yourself, but I just want you to remember that there's a young girl out there who has lost a lot of her family. I don't ever want to make you decide something that you don't want to do. And I know you're already hard pressed on what you want to do. But I want you to remember that she's scared. She doesn't even know what she's lost yet. And I don't want her to have to lose you. And he'll kind of like, still with his sword in front of him, will kind of reach into his pocket and like pull out a small letter that he's had with him, that is written to him in Oberon's handwriting. Open and read. He read it at one point, but he will just kind of very gently hand it back towards him. You always know I'll do what I must. So just keep that in mind.
You see Oberon's shoulders like sag, and you see his body. You see him nod, and he'll turn around, and you see the entire time that he's been facing away, like not falling, but you just see like tears built up in his eyes of just emotion, and he just nods, takes it, as will I.
And like as he takes it, he kind of like gives him like almost like a Roman soldier, like a clasp on his gauntlets. I know I say it a lot, but it's been an honor, Oberon. Through thick and thin. You're a good man.
The honor has been all mine.
And kind of like just with that, he'll just nod and leave the room.
And as he does, Oberon just like collapses onto his cot and like just looks up for a minute and just like gives a scoff. Who would have thought it was the paladin who did the best guilt trip?
And with that, camera will pan away, back up to the sky as we see the night, this final night before potentially the end of the Empire. And the camera will just kind of zoom forward, back into the city of Aoibhen, back into the Imperial Palace. Sitting in the throne room, we see a figure sitting on the throne, face obscured by a veil, though a wizened and old, ancient-looking body sits as she holds and is sort of rubbing this crystal that bears the sigil of the Claudius crest, though it is cracked and seemingly about to fall apart with just how severely damaged it is. As a an elven woman in wearing the sigil of the Order of Medir approaches and says, "The rebel army has assembled outside of the gates of the city. Wars will soon be upon us, and the Empress crushes the crystal in her hand and lets the shards of it fall to the ground. And she just whispers to herself, surrounded by incompetence. And she looks up to the woman paladin and says, do you feel it? That raw energy resonating. It's near. It'll be here soon. And once I have it, I'll fix everything. And with that, we'll end this episode of Dice Age.